Well, the summer is here, and many people, they ask me questions regarding whether they should actually rent an apartment, buy a house during the summertime. People think about that. And in both situations, they have to also keep a healthy credit score, which is also important. And here to talk about how to manage your money and achieve your financial goals, we welcome now the CEO and founder of Credit Solutions, Andy Sukhu, Y2K Credit Solutions, and Bronx and Brooklyn realtor, Oliver Toussaint. Good to have you both shared here, and good to have you.
Thank you, Darren.
As I said, Andy, you know, this time of year, people are trying to make that decision a lot, specifically in the summertime, about whether or not it's good for me to actually have an apartment or buy a home. And it's a big difference between both.
Right, absolutely. It all comes down to savings. Or what are you going to be spending? Is it worth spending $2,000 for a rent, or you can spend $2,000 in your mortgage and you own your own property in the long term? Oliver specializes in investments and real estates and rentals, and he'll touch on that and what's the best option for everyone.
Well, the rule of thumb is this: you buy low, you sell high, right? If you want to invest, okay? So at this time, the market is peaking, so you have to look for the right deal at this point in time in the market. Okay, so if you want to invest, I would definitely say you have to figure out whether or not this deal works for you from a financial perspective in terms of spending in regards to renting. If you want to spend, let's say, $3,000 a month renting, or you want to spend $3,000 a month, owning a property. So most people would go to rather owning a property as opposed to renting. So you got to look at the financial makeup of that for yourself personally and see what works best for you.
What are you seeing? Because I know you're a realtor here for Brooklyn as well as the Bronx. What are we seeing here in New York City? Because we see a lot of development going on. Are we seeing a lot of people purchasing homes?
People are purchasing home. The developments that you're seeing now are basically for mostly mid-level to high-end buyers, right? I would recommend you purchase a home at this point in time. In all honesty, you want to ensure that you don't get an apartment where you're kind of paying a mortgage for an apartment as opposed to paying a mortgage for an asset that you own. So my suggestion would be to get an investment for a home that you own at this point in time.
And Andy, you talk about owning a home, obviously it's a big undertaking, but for many people we know, and this was your specialty, the credit and the credit score is paramount.
Absolutely. FICO just actually raised the bar for credit scores. 720 was considered good credit. 720 is now a fair credit rate, a credit score if you get a decent rate on your car. 765 is what you need to get a good rate on your interest rate on your mortgage. But to touch a little bit on what Oliver mentioned, in conjunction of buying a property or renting, budgeting for someone is very important. You have to know your budget if you can afford it, because in inception you can get the house, you can get the down payment and so forth, but what happens 6 months later?
Maintaining, correct.
Maintaining the property.
Correct, that's
just
critical.
Just like a car. Anyone can get a car. Anyone can get a Mercedes, Mars, whatever you want, whatever your choice of car is, but it's maintaining it 6 months down the line. So budgeting is very, is a key factor in buying a home or even a car. But in order to budget, you have to have that high credit score to get a good rate.
So when we talk about investing, when is actually the best time? Because people always ask that question, the best time, when's the best time for me to do it? When should I really be doing this? You're the expert.
It's relative. It's relative, to be honest with you, right? So the best time could be now, the best time could be 10 years from now. It depends on the individual's financials at that point in time. So, for example, I would say it depends on where you want to find a deal and where you want to look for a deal, okay? So, for example, there may be some great deals in East New York at this point in time that you can find through a bank or maybe a short sale or a short payoff from the bank, or maybe someone who's going into foreclosure that's willing to make a deal with you, right? So it's all relative. It's really not, you can't say August is the best time or the fall is the best time. It's relative to the person's finances and where they can find the right deal. Okay, so the right deal could be anywhere in the tri-state area, but you have to do your homework and your research in order to get that done, and this is where we come in to try to assist you in doing so.
To touch on Oliver, what he said again also, anytime is the right time to invest if you have the credentials. You have the credit score, the down payment, W-2, tax returns. If you have all those components to move forward in a mortgage, anytime is a good time. It's just the deal that's out there and what fits your budget and what you can afford.
Correct, correct.
So you got to pretty much wait for that optimum moment and know what's in your bank account first.
Correct. And in order to prepare yourself for that, have your financials together already. Have your tax return, your last 2-year tax return available. Have your W-2s, your last 3-month W-2 available. Have your down payment. Have your credit up to par. You know, you don't want to find a deal, then come into the table, my credit score is not up to par. And credit score is the key driving component to this, everything that happened in the financial world.
Better, or is it a good thing to be pre-approved? Because we hear pre-approval a lot. Is it better to always walk into something pre-approved?
It depends on the circumstance, but it does enhance your ability to get that home that you're looking for, to get that pre-approval prior. And it also depends on the bank that's going to assist you. Most banks that do pre-approve you, it depends on the rate that they're going to give you, so those are the things you want to look at. For those people looking to purchase a home, what I would suggest is that if you're going to go to a certain lender to get this pre-approval, ensure that they kind of give you an outline of the differences and the types of loans they're going to provide for you. So for example, if you want to put 3.5 down, or maybe 5% down, or maybe 10% down, kind of have them compare all three for your long-term basis. So this will help you understanding how to maintain the home once you get into purchasing it. So the pre-approval does enhance it, but you want to look at other factors also when you're looking to invest or purchase a home.
To drill down on what Oliver is stating also, I'm in the credit business, so we deal with clients from all walks, coming from realtors, mortgage brokers, to fix their credit. Realtors don't want to invest time with the consumer if they don't have a pre-approval. In order to have a pre-approval, you have to have good credit. Your credit has to be up to par.
Correct.
So on Oliver's Oliver's point of on
Reference it.
on reference it, yes, you should get the pre-approval. And which bank you're working with, on a realtor's perspective, you should get the pre-approval before you even see a realtor. Because a realtor wouldn't even work with you.
And before we get out of the segment, I know you have a major event taking place. Tell us a little bit about
Yes, you want?
Well, you can speak on it.
So Judy Eltman, realtor in Brooklyn, we're partnering up with a seminar for Brooklyn and the Bronx to educate consumers on financial literacy. July 22nd, right?
July 22nd, correct.
It's held in Brooklyn. It's going to be a huge event. And, you know, being in the credit industry, financial literacy is very limited. And we realize that a lot of consumers don't have the right financial literacy. So we're trying to educate the consumers, get them ready to buy home purchasing, and even get them to have their credit up to par to save money on interest and any transaction that they make.
Right, and the event is being held on 4th Avenue, 25 4th Avenue at the Pacific Brooklyn Public Library branch on the 2nd floor, July 22nd from 11 p.m. to 1 p.m.
Well, certainly they have the information at the bottom of the screen where they can be able to tap in and find out more information. And congratulations, I know you're celebrating 11 years as a business as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you very much. Yesterday was the 11th year for Y2K Credit Solutions, being in the credit restoration industry. We made it that far, so I'm very excited about that. And all this started in my mom's basement, like you know, like I had mentioned before to you. And never in a million years that would I have thought that this would have gotten to this level. But we're number one in the industry, and we're here to help all the clients regain their financial powers.
All right. Well, Andy Sukhu and Oliver Toussaint, thank you so much for sharing with us. And if you want to find out more about them, a little bit more in depth, they'll be on Perspectives, and you can check them both out there. Going to take a quick break. We got more show coming up. Stay with us. We'll open you up to more right after this.